everyone. This is if you're practicing right now, going to be a live evening chill class. It's 5 p.m. here in Austin right now. If you can grab for class, I would love for you to have a thin blanket or even like your regular bath towel available, and you can go ahead and roll it into a nice long little round shape here, a cylinder, and we'll use that. If you have any extra pillows or bolsters or anything along those lines, go ahead and take the time to grab those now, and we'll come back and get started in a sec. Make sure that you have space to stand up and, roll around a little bit. Make sure you're in a cozy area on your floor. That might mean laying down some extra blankets or anything like that. And, don't worry too much about having a perfect space. I don't know if you can see very well on camera, but there's half folded laundry in the chair and on my bed, and such is life. So here we are, right? So just set up where you feel comfortable. Don't worry too much about perfection, because that's not what we're here for today. We're here to chill, not worry, okay? So grab a few things. We'll get started in just a couple minutes. I will grab a clock for time reference, and that's it. So a towel or a blanket and some pillows if you have them laying around. Right now, let me just get a playlist queued up here. And the playlist I'm going to put up it does have lyrics in it. It's kind of a mix of folk and some other stuff, but if for any reason you would rather just listen to instrumental, actually let's do that. I've been really digging some lo-fi in the background while I'm doing this type of practice. So I'm going to go ahead and put that into the video chat. Cool, there it is. Alright, y'all, so grab your towel. If you haven't yet, make sure it's in a skinny roll. You don't want it to be too thick. We're going to start with some postures for digestion. We'll land around 30 to 40 minutes for practice today, and yeah, we're just going to take it easy. If we have not met in person, it's lovely to see you here today. My name is Noel. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's being.evergreen. You can follow me on there for class schedule updates and all of that good stuff. And for class today, if you would like to donate for class to me, that would be amazing. You can head over to blackswanyoga.com/live, and you'll see a donate link there. Or you can also DM me and I can give you that information later. And that's all I got for you today. Let's take a moment to just find a comfortable seat together. If you have that pillow or even your blanket roll handy, you can slide it underneath your hips just to give you a little bit more space and lift, so you can really relax into the seat, taking a little pressure out of the ankles or the knees, allowing yourself to truly start to feel comfortable and supported where you are. If a cross-legged seat is not doing it for you today, that's okay. You can extend the legs out long. You can come to your shins, or any variation that you find for yourself. And then just very comfortably rest your hands on your thighs so that the elbows can sway in towards your rib cage. Sit up tall. And if it feels good for you to close your eyes today, you can find your eyes closed, or if you'd rather stay a little bit more alert, or you don't feel safe enough to close your eyes where you are right now, just keep them open or keep a gentle gaze. I have a really nice view of my fiddle fig, so I'm going to keep my eyes open today. And let the breath come naturally, even that's a big sigh or just gentle breathing. Just take a moment without worrying too much about what you're doing to just be still and allow the movement to come from within your breath. Even in this moment of stillness, you still have a lot going on within you, right? Busyness in the mind, probably. The movement of blood, of digestion, of everything going on in the rest of your body, and also the breath moving in and out. So regardless of how still your physical external being is, you still have a lot going on in this moment. And this might leave you feeling a little bit less than relaxed or less than an urge to be still right now, and that's okay. If you feel busy, if you feel like you want to move, that's all right. And see if you can allow yourself to find the stillness with the intention behind it of, I would like to be still. Almost taking control of that moment of the racing mind or the rushed breath, and seeing if you can just slow it down. Continuing to breathe just as you are, whatever comes naturally to you. Start to notice the physical body, starting from the tips of the toes and working our way up today, and just see how everything is feeling. I have a lot of ankle problems. My ankle feels tight. How are your ankles feeling? I went on a lot of stairs during a hike the other day, and my lower body is still feeling it. How's your lower body feeling? Just slowly making your way up, asking yourself questions with care and appreciation for the share, just as I would you in the studio. How are you feeling today? As we run through this body scan, we begin to notice that we might be physically manifesting some of our stress, some of our tension, or that busyness that's been happening within our bodies. And allowing yourself to just meet all of that, any soreness, tension, busyness, all of that with an open appreciation today. Recognizing that you're showing up with all of these things, with this baggage, we can call it, and you are still here. You showed up, and that can be the hardest part sometimes. And it's okay. It doesn't have to feel perfect. It doesn't have to look perfect or be any sort of way. Just showing up and breathing and making some shapes. That's all that we need to do here today. Allow it to be simple and easy for yourself. And now starting to shift that attention, not completely away from the body, but just allowing yourself to multitask a little bit. So we're giving the mind something else to do besides worrying about our grocery lists and other things. Continuing to take care of the physical body, and then starting to focus in on the breath. If yours feels a little bit shallow or a little rushed, or maybe you're breathing big and wonderful today, wherever you are with your breath, it's all right. Just start to tune into it. making your way through all of that static on those off stations that don't feel quite right, and allowing yourself to really find that clear, crisp, and fluid sound that is your breath. Maybe even without forcing a deeper physical breath, you notice that your body naturally starts to lengthen out the breaths when you pay attention to it. Give yourself about 3 to 5 more rounds of breath, unrushed and hurried, just allowing yourself to breathe a little bit deeper, a little slower, and a little bit more mindfully, just here with your mind and your breath right now. And as you feel ready, you can blink your eyes back open. And on these online classes, I've been liking to take a moment, even though I can't see you if you're practicing right now or if you're in the future watching. I just want to take a moment to look at you, looking at me, and say hello. We still have connection, even though it's a very virtual world right now, even though I can't see your beautiful faces on this class right now, but I'm here for you, and I'm very excited that you're here. Our first posture is going to be standing. I know this is the only upward thing that we'll be doing today, but it's been one of my favorites. So lately my low back and my hamstrings have been really tight. Like I said, I went on a wonderful hike the other day, but it had a lot of stairs. This is also really good if you've been sitting a lot. So if you're feeling really tired today, you might want to do this up against a wall or even up against your bed. So you'll grab that roll you made with your towel or your blanket, and we're going to place it kind of at the top of the thighs. And depending on how your body is feeling today, you might need to adjust exactly where this goes. You want to give yourself plenty of space for your belly, so if you need to adjust the blanket underneath your belly or place a little higher, you can adjust the position here to go for the amount of sensation or to fit your own body shape. So right at the top of the thighs, below the hip bone, just a touch, and then take the feet out wide wherever you're standing, keeping the feet parallel. And then take a gentle bend in the knees. Let's make it a generous bend, so really allowing some buoyancy there. And then take a moment just to find activation. So press through the pinky edges of your feet, keep the knees bent, try to rip the mat apart. And then as you exhale, we're just gonna fold over the blanket or towel roll. And then once you get about halfway down, this can be a good spot. If you take your hands out of the support of the blanket or towel, you can see if you might need to adjust it. If it feels like it's gonna fall out, you might need to scooch it up a little higher. And then once again, making sure you have space for your belly to rest over it. You're gonna feel quite a bit of pressure. That is the point, because we're gonna be working with a little stomach compression for digestion today. And then once you've found your halfway point, the blanket feels like it's in a pretty good position, you can fold all the way down, allowing that deep bend in the knees so that you can truly drape yourself over your legs, especially if you have tight hamstrings or backsides of your legs. Allow yourself to bend your knees to support you here. The arms can just drape down, or if you want to start with a grip on the elbows or even the back of the head, you can sway a little from side to side just to ease into it. Notice if you're lifting your head or putting any effort into the back of the neck. See if you can instead round the chin towards your chest and your throat so that the head can truly hang heavy. And instead of shaking it, yes or no, see if you can just sway the whole upper body and allow your head to move with that. These side to side motions can be really nice using this blanket roll to massage the intestines. This is one of my to do if I am in my moon cycle or if I ate too much spaghetti. There's really no such thing as too much spaghetti though. Just the right amount of spaghetti, but I feel very full and this can help with digestion. If you're still moving very slowly, allow yourself to come through center. If you're gripping anything above the ground, allow your fingertips to rest down. It's okay if they don't touch the earth, just allow them to hang heavy, just like the rest of your body. And now we're gonna tune into the breath even more and actually set a little goal for the breath to be a little bit bigger. And we're gonna try to breathe low into the belly here. And this might take a few rounds for you to find the hang of, but just breathe really, really deep here. Thinking of the torso of your belly and your chest like a big balloon that's expanding. And the exhales, I like slow open mouth exhales, but if it feels good to breathe out of your nose, that's fine. You may start to feel some fatigue in the legs, that's okay. The hands are also here to support some of the weight, or if you decide now that you'd like some support from the wall or your bed, you can just move yourself. Allow yourself to feel supported here. Continue on, breathing deeply, low into the belly, expanding, and as you exhale, soft and slow, allowing the breath to seep back up. Checking back in with the physical aspects of your body, noticing if you're gripping or tensing somewhere, if you're really just trying to hold on, see if you can soften into it. Five more rounds of breath here. Checking back in that the head is hanging loose. Maybe for the last few rounds of breath, you bring back that sway from side to side if it felt good or if it encourages you to truly soften. And then bring the hands to the earth. This might mean bending your knees deeply. You can use your fingertips, but you just want to have some balance and support. Instead of rolling up, we're just going to very slowly come to rest down onto the shins. Being upside down for that long can feel like a little bit of a head rush. If you have any blood pressure issues, take it very slow. You might start still in kind of a little forward fold here, or if it feels safe and healthy for you, you can come upright to a seat on your shins. Your blanket roll or blanket or pillow might be necessary to help take some of the pressure out of your knees here, or you can always just sit off to one side too. I love this kneeling position, to just a gentle opening through the tops of the thighs. Wonderful. We'll continue giving some sweetness to the backs of our legs. If you've lost your little blanket roll, re-roll it. Make sure it's nice and tight here. And then we're gonna slowly bring it to the back sides of the knees. Now this can be, again, a little bit of a process. I like to come forward and make sure that I can just kind of slide it up as far as feels natural. And then as you come back to sit down on your shins, it'll slide a little further down. Whew. This one, I don't know if it has a better name, but I've learned it as calf smash. And if you're feeling it like me already, you understand why. So we're gonna get into the deeper tissues of our calf muscles. For me, sitting back towards my heels feels like 1,000% intensity right now. So if you're with me, you might rock your weight forward to your hands. And you can still get more intensity by gently pressing into the palms and sitting your hips back towards your heels this way without using the weight of your torso instead. And then it can be really nice to rock a little from side to side, nice and slow, just using your weight to use the blanket roll and massage the back sides of your calves. Notice if your breath has gone shallow, and just gently and sweetly encourage yourself back to a deeper breath. If it feels good for you here to close the eyes, you can. If you like this movement, you can stick with that soft sway from side to side. If it feels good to be still, you can find stillness, searching and seeking that level of intensity in the shape that feels suitable for you today. This practice today is not about going and finding that 1000% intensity. It's about being supportive to ourselves, to allow a little bit of release of the tension that's built up, and allowing yourself to come to terms with showing up for your practice exactly as you are, with all of the tension, with all of the soreness, with all of the mental chatter and busyness that comes along with our day-to-day lives. Those deep belly breaths from our standing forward fold felt nice before. You might incorporate those back in, still allowing your breath to flow deeply into the bowl of your belly. And exhaling, extending out a long and smooth breath out. Give yourself about 5 more rounds of breath here. Just slow, once again, unhurried, unrushed breaths. Soaking in the last little bit, maybe finding one sore spot that you'd like to really focus the weight of your body into. Focus the attention of your breath into. Nice and slow, walk your hands further forward, lift the weight out of your heels, and move your blanket roll off to this side, coming into a tabletop position. You can always grab some extra padding for underneath your knees, your shins. And we're just gonna lengthen back out the calves. So step your right foot long to the back of your mat, press down through the ball mound of your foot and your toes, and start to reach the heel back away from you. Now it can be really nice to walk your hands forward and press the palms into the mat to just give yourself a little bit of extra traction here. Think downward facing dog almost, pressing your chest back towards your thigh. And then you can sway a little from side to side, or maybe tilt the foot a little from side to side, really allowing that nice lengthening of the calf. And then if your hands are really far forward, walk them a little closer in towards you. Leave your left shin where it is and step your right foot to the outside of your mat or the outside of your left leg. And give yourself some space. Reach the heel long, and we're going to start to twist towards that extended heel. So to the left Now it can feel a little intense on the neck to look right at the heel. If that feels like a good stretch, you can look towards the heel, kind of lengthening the right side of your neck. Or if that feels like too much straining, you can just look straight down, finding a nice long back of neck. And we're almost pressing out through the right side rib cage to find a nice big rounding of the right side as we compress through the left side. And then nice and slow, just come back to your tabletop. Take a moment to take the weight out of your wrists, roll them around. You're feeling tight today. And then come back to your tabletop. Just doing what we did on the other side. Left leg extends. Rest the toes to the back of your mat. I like, once again, to walk the hands a little further forward to allow some traction. And then reach out through the heel. So I'm really pressing my heel towards the back of my mat. Using my arms and hands for a little more traction, melting my chest back towards my right thigh. And then movement, maybe a sway from side to side, or you can do a little rocking motion across the ball mounds of your foot. And slowly walk yourself in a little closer. Left leg steps to the outside of the right this time. Keep that heel extension, and then slowly start to curl the right side of your body in. Maybe look over your shoulder towards your left heel. Or you can look straight down and just find that motion with the rest of your body. Combining words, motion and movement. Movement. We'll use it. I think it'll stick, guys. You're not giggling with me because my jokes are terrible. You can just breathe into the left side of your body. Nice. Finish out one more full round of breath. Inhaling and exhaling. And slowly unwind. Come back down. Grab your blanket roll once more, or towel roll. And instead of the long skinny roll, we're gonna make a little bit of a bigger one. So I like to fold this into kind of a long rectangle shape here. I'm showing this to the wrong camera. Here we go. And then we're gonna just create kind of a thicker roll. You don't want this to be too short, so if you have a broad back or shoulder base, you want to make sure that this will still support you. And then you're going to place it right at the top of your mat, about 1/3 of the way down. I was never very good with fractions though. And then come to sit on your bum. Place your feet on the ground, knees bent, and slowly, sweetly lower yourself down. And you want right where your bra strap would be, if anyone even wears those anymore, or kind of right towards the bottom of your shoulder blade, but you can palpate with your thumb to kind of find that bottom part. And the goal here is to lift right underneath the breastbone, the top side of that kind of like fan of our rib cage, to allow it to open and expand here. And then slowly let your head rest back down. If this feels like too much with the head touching the ground, you can always take a pillow or a book and allow yourself to have a little bit more lift through the back of the head and not such an intense bend into the neck. And then what you do with your legs is wonderfully up to you. You can try on a few variations to see what feels best for you today. You might really just like knees bent, feet on the ground, just like this, or you can step the feet a little wider and allow the knees to knock in towards one another. This is a really great low back release for kind of expanding that sacral plate, or this can also feel a really nice release for the outer hips. You can also bring the soles of the feet together, finding an external rotation of the hips and let the knees fall out wide. The last option I can think of right now will be just to extend the legs out long, allow them to take up some space on your mat, and they can just relax open. So any of these are beautiful options. You might try all of them and see which one feels best. Back to that big breath, and instead of focusing it into the belly now, let's focus it right into the center of the torso, right where that rib cage bands across. And we're gonna go by lifting the breath and the rib cage. Think of it expanding and opening like the door to a bird cage. And each exhale allows you to relax into the ground and the support systems underneath you. If you are a fiercely independent person, I know that I can be sometimes. This can be a really great practice to allow yourself to be supported. We can't always do everything by ourselves. In fact, many things require some support. And it can be really, really hard to come to terms with that. So this might be just an easy first step for you, or even a difficult first step into allowing yourself to embrace support. Starting with inanimate objects like the floor, like the towel or the blanket that you put to use today. And most importantly, the beautiful earth underneath the floorboards, underneath the house or the apartment that you're in. Earth that for many of us in these places has been around for generations, allowing itself to impart a little bit of that wisdom into our practice today. And you can reflect with deep appreciation and thanks for this support, for this wisdom, and for the generations of just being here that the ground underneath us has provided. Find that along with allowing something else to support your physical weight, that it might also be able to bear a little load of what is mentally feeling heavy today. As you process lightening your load, even if it's just for the next few rounds of breath, you might create space to truly process what feels heavy right now. Yourself about 5 more rounds of breath, embracing these moments here in the shape that you've chosen with your body exactly as it is today. Embracing the support of the wise ground underneath us. As you're ready, we'll come back to how we started. Feet on the ground, knees up, finding any movements that you need to balance out a little bit here. And then just walk your feet a little bit over to the left. You can allow your hips to travel with them a few inches and allow the knees to hang over towards the right. Try to keep the shoulders pressing down onto that blanket or towel roll. This might mean losing depth with the legs. That's okay. Just let that need go. And just like we did with the breath, we're focusing into finding this twist through the rib cage with that little bit of compression through the blanket roll. We won't be here for too long, but we're gonna really breathe big and mindfully here. So about 5 to 7 rounds of the biggest breaths that you can take. Make them slow and elongated, inhaling. And just as slow exhaling. Repeating that. A few more times, your own pace. Very sweetly bring the feet back to the ground. When I say sweetly, I just mean moving slowly, generally. You can walk the feet over to the right and then let the hips follow with a few inches over to the right as well. And knees just drop over, hanging into the air, or as far as feels good, over to the left. Right away, breathe big into the right side rib cage. Give yourself that about 7 rounds of breath to fill up, expand, expand, feeling that physical lift of the right side of your body. And each exhale allows you to just relax into the support of the ground underneath you once more. Last breath or two here. And slowly just roll all the way over to the left. Lift yourself up back to the seat that you found comfortable, or maybe you allow it to be different than how you started. Maybe finding something to prop underneath your hips. Coming back with the hands on the thighs. If you're feeling open and wanting to embrace a little bit of community or just acceptance right now, you might even roll the palms open. And taking these last few rounds of breath together with gratitude and thanks for this practice, letting it be on loan to us because it is truly gifted, it is not mine, and taking time to appreciate the roots of this practice and how much it has gone through over generations and generations to find its way to us. And just really being grateful for that. I know that I am, at least. And we'll close out class together with 3 rounds of breath, nice and slow, in through the nose and out through the mouth. 2 more times, your own pace, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. Thank you so much for choosing to spend part of your day with me. I know how valuable your time is, and I truly appreciate you choosing to spend it with me today. My name is Noel. I'm available. Again, I don't want you to feel like we're virtually disconnected, so please take time to reach out to me so that I know who you are. Looks like one of you commented, "Hi Leslie, if you're still here, thanks for joining." Being.evergreen is my Instagram handle. I'm on there far too much. We can work on that together. But feel free to reach out to me. I'm here to support you, and I love to chat. I like to get to know students, especially since we're in this virtual world. If you're watching in the future, the offer still stands. Just find me on the Instagram. I post schedule updates as well there. But for now, for the foreseeable future, I'll be here every Friday, 5 p.m. Central time zone. And that's all I've got for today. If you have questions, feel free to reach out. And otherwise, I hope you have a nice, peaceful rest of your day and evening. Thanks, y'all.